Kitty Girls, it's Sunday, January 18th, 2026, and welcome to Cubs Out Loud Drag Race Season 18, Episode 2 here at T-Time. We're going to talk about Episodes 2 and 3 of the current season, Q-Pop Girl Groups, and RDR Live Returns. So for those of you that aren't familiar with us, my name's Gary, and with me is my ever-fabulous co-host.
Hello, everyone. It's Damon.
And we're going to dive in and talk about the two most recent episodes from the new US based season. It's been an interesting journey. And I feel like we say this every year recently, like it's familiar yet a little different.
Right.
I do think these queens kind of feel like they know what's going to happen, and yet they're giving me the sensation that it is not quite going the way they think it's going to. So that means it's a little bit fresh in some ways, even for them.
Yeah.
So with that, let's dive into our first segment, shall we?
Yes.
Racers, start your engines, and may the best drag queen win.
So let's put the pedal to the metal and get into our overall thoughts. They're going to be in three basic areas. The serves, swerves, and nerves. Serves are the positives, swerves are the negatives, and the nerves could be positive or negative, really depending on how things go. So I'm looking at the notes. I'm going to be interested to see what our thoughts are on these particular items. So with that being said, David, why don't you lead us off with serves?
Sure. So I am giving a serve to Juicy Love Dion's pangolin look. Really, her performance in the RDR episode overall was pretty good. I will say I'm a little tired of the cliche, like I've never done this before. Like I don't act, I don't blah blah blah, and then like, oh, I turn it out. Like, okay, cool. I mean, maybe she got help, but whatever.
Well,
Um,
yeah, I don't disagree. I think the guest host gave her the note of all notes. She, I think, was pooping her panties when she was preparing for it, and then when she was told a further explanation of that role and really what you should be doing with it, that I think cemented it. Now, I agree. I wasn't sure she's going to be able to deliver it, and then the moment I got into the first 10 seconds of the skit, I was like, "Oh, she's unless she really fucks it up, she's got it."
Right.
So,
And then the look on the runway was very wonderfully done. The headpiece, the like scaled like look of the pieces, it was just enough. I don't think she had anything on the feet, which I think would have been really nice to have had to add into this animal like pangolin look. But the use of the claws as nails, like that was a cute like way to make this all sort of work. The only it would have been hilarious. I doubt she could have done it, but like if she could have curled into a ball and rolled around, that would have been hilarious. I don't think possible, but that would have been fun.
Right.
But yeah, I love the look. I love the color choices, and you know, we learn she was wanting to be like a veterinary or something, and this is a endangered animal. So yeah, good on her. Good
Yeah,
for her.
I will say she definitely delivered a really good look on the runway, to the point that I can't remember which other queen commented and said that this is kind of like finale, end of the season, main stage kind of, stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe not at the theater kind, but like, what you would bring with you to the show. Definite. So yes. I would agree with giving her. It was a serve. I was surprised. I think with time she could revisit that and elevate it some more. I don't think it's
Yeah.
at its
Yeah.
at its top level, but I will say this latest runway was an interesting choice.
There were some choices made for this runway for sure.
That was a choice.
So yes, I would agree with that. Yes.
How about you?
So for me, I want to recognize Nini's brains. So this was the Q-Pop Girls Group episode, I believe. The runway was you're going to feature your favorite body part.
Right.
Which I thought was a very interesting, like, runway decision. I kind of hope they do it again.
I feel like we've done something similar in the past, maybe season 6 or 7. It's been a while, but it's a like favorite body part kind of, but it wasn't called my neck, my dack, my it wasn't one of those.
Right. But I loved how she took a design and amplified it, like elevated it. So she 3D printed the part of the hat that was like the brains part and decorated it. So like, because if you take the brains away and you just finish it, it looks it's a kind of, and I'm not gonna be able to say this as a fashionista by any means, but I think it was a couture look. I was like, wow, like it's really impressive. The arms with the gloves, like I mean, it was just like I just thought it was really well done. And I kind of had no notes and I was like, that's super impressive. She strikes me a bit as one of the queens we've got to keep an eye on. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, like she won the first episode with the orange petal like outfit that everybody not everybody, but it seemed like pretty much everybody else in the cast was like, well, that's not gonna win. And then she won, and I was like, I'm like, y'all better be careful, like with your critiques there and what that is. So she's one of our designing queens that I think has that artistic creative flair about them. You've got to keep an eye on in that case. So yeah, for sure. That being said, let's move on to swerves. Okay, Damon, go ahead.
Season 6. Okay. I was trying to figure out what season was the best body part. So it was season 6.
Who was season 6? I can't remember that far back easily.
Jumping backwards, because I was just looking at season 6. The winner was Bianca Del Rio.
So did she feature her mouth? What? I'm not trying to be smart about it. I'm like that's not shade. I'm saying that like she's so vicious.
Right.
Well, it's either that or her tongue. Like I don't know. Like
I can't remember.
That's okay.
Episode 2, 6. Hold on. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Wikipedia, for doing all of the things I need to do. Nope, it wasn't episode 6. It was episode 2.
That would be an interesting parallel.
No, it wasn't episode 2. It was far late. It was much later.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll figure it out. I'll get to this. Let me get to this. I'm sitting here like doing my investigating shit. Anyway, for Swerve, Vita's RDR flop. I'm sorry. I expected so much from her, and it feels weird that we're so early on challenging with seeing a queen so talented kind of like fall. But this was bad. You were giving me why I don't like watching SNL nowadays, because one of my main issues overall with like SNL is like there's obviously I am looking at a teleprompter and I'm giving the lines, but I'm also looking directly at a teleprompter kind of thing, and it felt like that, but then you weren't giving anything more at all, and I get what you were trying to do, and I kind of wish you had done more. Because when you started and you started talking, I was like, "Why are you talking like that?" And you go, "Oh, my name is Butch." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Still terrible. And then you like clearly like reading, like again, like clearly reading a prompter, not really putting much into it, and you're getting outshined very quickly.
Right.
And I hate to say it, your runway was okay, but it was very predictable.
Well, all right. So since you brought up the runway, I have to say this. I did not like what she did with her runway. I didn't have a problem with her choosing a zebra. However, why did it have two faces? For those of you that are watching the video, Damon just basically did a spit take. And I'm being honest.
Almost.
She did her face like a zebra face, and then she has a whole other zebra face on top of her head. And I was like, girl, what are you doing? Like, if that's the face up there, then you don't paint your face to look like a face. You paint your face to look like the neck. Or probably would have looked way too much like another queen or a couple of queens if she just did this huge mane and did her face like a zebra face. I don't know. Like, it was just it really stood out to me. I was like, what is going on here? Like, I don't understand.
It was weird. It was weird, and I wasn't a fan. I didn't like this. I didn't like her in the challenge, and I didn't like her work. And I was a little surprised, given what we saw the first couple of episodes. It makes me worry a little bit.
It has me wondering, like, where she's going to land or how she's going to continue on.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah. No, that's for sure.
I was wrong. It was season 5. That's why I couldn't find it.
Oh.
It's season 5. There's so many like videos and such here that I was seeing something that I didn't see. I'm seeing different numbers. It was season 5, episode 6, not season 6, episode whatever I said.
Gotcha.
Thank you, season 5. So that was the Jinx season. That was Jinx season.
Interesting.
So 6. Jumping down. Yeah, favorite body part. Okay. All right. Cool. Anyway. Gary.
People might be surprised at this swerve, but I had to call it out because the editor has done her dirty. But I don't know how else to address this other than to say all of you as contestants should know by now, if you say it on a mic, it's gonna get used. So Athena does her runway in, is it the girl group one?
Yeah, it was the favorite body part.
Favorite body part, and she decides to show off her back. And then decides in the voiceover and confessional that she has no back rolls. Zoom in to back rolls. Girl, no, don't do that to yourself. Like you're already being, pegged as this, with the grand Von Dom, mother thing. I'm like, unless you have 1% body fat, you should not say such things because you are just reliving the Alyssa Edwards thing. And I don't think that's what you want to do in this moment.
No.
It was such a swerve. I could not believe she said that. And then the camera's like right there. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Yep.
And all I keep thinking is she was in a bar. She was in a club. She was somewhere at a live showing of this. And she says that, and they put that on the goddamn 120-inch projection screen. You should know better. You should know better, girl. And I'm not blaming her, that she did anything wrong. I'm just like, don't give them fuel. Don't make such statements and think it's not going to backfire. Because the problem is you didn't see the footage of the runway. So you have no idea how you look. And you probably did not stand in front of a couple of mirrors in the workroom and then twist your body in different positions to recognize ahead of time, I shouldn't do this because then I will have rolls of my skin. And I'm not saying that Athena is a bigger girl, and that's just an automatic thing, but you really kind of have to have a model body to have that not happen.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, girl.
It's so hilarious.
But you said it.
It was wrong. It was so wrong. And they were like, yep.
They were like, she said back rolls. Boink. Cut to. And I'm like, oh, no. Yeah.
Here you go.
I know. Speaking of here you go, let's move on to Nerve.
Okay.
What are you giving Nerve to, Damon?
It do take nerve, Mikey Meeks, to put that outfit together and put that on the runway of season 18 of RuPaul's Drag Race. There were a few nerves in this runway, but I'm giving this one to Mikey specifically because what were you thinking? So the idea of the runway was animal attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And the general gist of what I've been seeing from several people was like, oh, we're gonna become the animal in a way. I would love to know what the prompt was, what they said, what they told them. But a couple of girls went the route of animal print and like made an outfit with animal print. And that's what I feel this was. And it wasn't good. I think she did cheetah. She used like the it's gonna sound so bad. The Timu cheetah print. I'm sure it was double, line, so at least that was one good positive that she had. But like, oh, baby, it was bad. And then you chose to do it in this like cap, like this silhouette that we have seen so often on the runway of the bustier cheetah like cap look, cowboy kind of thing with the hat and everything else, and it just felt very blech. It didn't shine. The hair cheetah print like dyed or whatever colored hair didn't land, and the makeup was basic. It was a miss. It was a miss. And I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I feel the same way about um, Kenya's look. I get what you were doing, but I feel like it just for this level where we are, a animal print fabric, making something out of an animal print fabric wasn't enough. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing what the um, fashion photo review gals think of these things, but like Mikey, that was I'm gonna say it, and this is gonna sound bad, but I'm gonna say it. It probably cost you the high. I'm just gonna say it because I think you did really well in the challenge. You and Juicy were my favorite of the RDR performances. Um, but you coming down that runway looking like that, I was like, that's a choice.
Fair. I get that. Very much so.
Gary, what is this?
You have no idea what I'm going to talk about.
No.
I said no playback mama? Question mark. So I'm just going to call it out. It's RDR Live. We have to have a musical act. No guesses who the musical act is. So Mama Rue gets up there and lip syncs with backup dancers to a song. it has become so abundantly clear to me, nobody gives Rue notes. And Rue did not watch the playback. Because I think if she watched the playback, she would have put in an extra 10%. I'm not asking for the world here. I don't expect her. Come on, like she take Boniva every day. Like she is not going to be doing no jumps, no splits, no pussy splats, like no death drops, none of that shit. But the fact that it was like low energy, and I'm like, girl, we all get it. Like you've been doing this gig for a long ass time, and you're corseted, and you know what I mean. Like you're padded, like you got this whole thing going on. So you're probably over it and probably tired. But I think if you'd seen the way you looked, you would have given some more. Or you don't give a shit.
I really could give two shits.
So it's one or the other. Like either you really have moved beyond and you don't care about the craft and how you represent yourself. Or nobody gives you feedback and you don't even bother to look at yourself for your own like feedback loop. Because the one person, from our understanding, the lore is only one person ever gave Rue feedback, and they had a falling out and they've been long gone now. So because they're not there, no one's saying you should do this, you should try this, like blah blah blah, you know, like none of that. So anyways, I thought it was a lot of nerve to product place yourself in there the way you do, and then like you're just not, and I don't expect you to be at the level that the queens are. So like in the RuPaul Ultimate Universe, Brooklyn Heights is hosting and can deliver. Like she is that queen that is the host and has the skills, and if necessary could come down off the dais and be like, you know what, nope, everybody just freeze. You up here with me. We're gonna do this right now. And she would just knock it out and put them all to shame and be like, and that is how you do it. So have I made myself clear? Like, you know what I mean? And like that is what I would want out of a host. Only we don't have that. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, something.
So I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed that like you didn't even look at the playback like right away to see how it looked. Like you're just like, and shame on Tom and Fenton and all the rest of them if they're in the room and none of them are saying anything to Rue. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I'm gonna give some grace. Maybe it was an off day. Maybe she wasn't feeling well. I don't know. Like maybe she had an edible before she got up on the stage. It's anything's possible, but still, I'm like that's just disappointing. I don't want a lot. I just want a little more.
Just a little more.
Yeah.
Give us something. Give us something. Like that's the thing. Like I tuned out. I will own it. I tuned out during the performance. She looked stunning, and then I was like, why are her dancers dressed in like Dora the Explorer? And then and that's it. Like that's where I already went. And I mean, I gave about as much energy as she gave me.
That part. I don't disagree with you. I think like you get back what you give, and I don't think you gave very much. I don't necessarily know that I had a cohesive like presentation to it. It was super obvious that it wasn't live and that it was canned and that you were lip syncing to it, which is kind of to be expected. But that's also hard because it's called RDR Live. It's supposed to be a riff on Saturday Night Live. So
yeah, I mean, I would honestly, I would never expect Rue to perform or sing live. Like that would never happen. But it felt weird. And maybe if I were to go back to like some of the other RDRs, maybe because I think she's always been the guest, like musical guest.
Right.
But it maybe it's just this one felt so low E that it's not it just doesn't make sense. But I also hate to say it, I'm usually here for the queens, not really for Rue. So
Agreed. So with that, should we move on to our next segment?
let's do it.
All right, so these are our snaps and eye rolls, aka the highs and the lows of these particular episodes, things that we want to call out in terms of like mostly more the production and what we're seeing from the show. So, Damon, what are you giving snaps for?
So, I'm gonna put a snap on what I said a more mature season. Gary and I were kind of talking about this during the pre-show, but there's something to be said. This season feels different, and in a good way. It's not as I think I talked about the last season where it felt very refreshing and there was a lot of I'm glad that there was some drama and what have you. This season feels a little bit more refined in a way, a little bit more like personalities are going well. Like there's a good mix of girls and they've talked about themselves have talked about the age thing that there's a lot more mature seasoned queens this season. Um, and I think that's playing to the season's benefit. Um, we're hearing the occasional oh, I don't know how to do this and that, but it's usually coming from the younger queens. But there are older queens there, gonna use that word, that seem to be helping the other girls. Like there's this level of maturity and respect in a way that is showing in these first few episodes. And these two in particular, um, I like the way the group sort of enmeshed themselves and did something really great together. Um, these challenges, most of these challenges have been very group focused. Um, and that kind of helps in a way to build that sisterhood. And I think having a group of queens that are more mature and more gone through it, they're more apt to be more congenial.
Yeah, I think it's not only that, I think it also includes the we're in this together factor. So, like, while we don't know how we're going to be judged, there's no point in letting one of my teammates or a sister fall down. So,
Right.
like, to be fair, it is the edit. They're showing us, like, some of the compassion to the things that are happening. And I do think that that's interesting from the perspective of what it's going to be as the season moves on. And it is like a little tough in the very beginning to see the queens that exit because they don't get very much time, and we've gone from 14 down to 12 like in the first 3 episodes of Rodeo 2 Girls Gone, like, and most likely this will continue to progress as we move through. At some point they may very well do the return of someone, but it's definitely that there is some understanding that everyone's pretty cool with each other. There is a noted friction personality thing that they're playing on right now. I'll be curious to see how that goes in the future.
Right.
Because someone I think is younger and is not taking social cues very well, or is outright ignoring them intentionally to be the button pusher. I haven't quite figured that part out yet. I'm trying to give them grace to say they're just kind of being young and stupid and they don't know what they're doing. Like they can't take a bigger picture or see the optics of what they're doing. And on the other part of me, I'm like, oh, they might actually have a little bit of a malicious intent to be like, I'm just going to do it because I can. Which is unfortunate because that latter part is one I don't have a lot of grace for. I'll be like, well, that's bad. Like you're leaning into it and you're being malevolent, and I don't have time for that. So
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Well, because it's so funny, like watching the most recent episode, when I saw some of this playing out, I was like, oh my God, will you two have sex already? Like, you know what I mean? Like how sometimes people get like that? Like,
yeah,
someone like is being, they think they're being cute, they think they're being flirty by like, kind of being like pestering. And I'm like,
right.
no, girl.
No.
Like, first of all, now is not the time nor the place. And second of all, that is not what you're giving.
No. We have we have grown to a point where we know, like, the whole, like, being annoying as a flirtation, that's not cool. That's called just being annoying. Like, if you want to fuck, just tell me you want to fuck. Like, I just want to say it like that. Like, I appreciate the coyness, but we've gone past coyness into annoyance and being like a gnat. And I either need you to, like, tell me what you want, or I'm shutting down on you.
Right.
Just say what you want. Sorry, this is gonna be a rant for the world, like, in everything. Like, own up to what you want. Be open and honest about things that you desire. If you are interested in somebody, show that interest. If you're not, don't. And same for the person. If you are not interested in that person in that way, just be respectful and say, "Oh, no, sorry, not for me," and move on. Fuck. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah. That was a tangent.
It's all right. It's all right. My snaps. This is going to seem probably kind of convoluted, but it's not meant to be. My snaps are for Jane don't.
Mm-hmm.
And what I said is can do question mark. I think the edit and the manipulation of the production is they're holding her back or trying to not turn her into the sweet queen.
Mm.
Because in the first 3 episodes, she's started to become the front runner. She has a bunch of skills, and it was a very interesting moment that she was being emotional in the workroom, and she was getting in her head about, like, if I win, then like that reinforces me as a front runner, and then that distances me, and the other girls could be mad at me for that. Which I found interesting because then some of the queens were like, what the fuck do you care? Like, focus on you, do your thing, stay on that path.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's a very introspective, like, kind of psychological thing.
Yeah.
So, like, I do think that she's a top contender. She definitely has a wheelhouse of a lot of things. She also comes from a drag sisterhood back home of one winner and another high profile person. Like, so they probably prompted her or gave her a fair amount of insight of things to know to, be ready for in the show. Not that it's going to make her win, but and there's probably some added pressure that hasn't been discussed yet about that legacy of, like, doing well because they did well, and that expectation that people probably one would presume the viewing audience has of her because of, Bosco and Irene. So yeah, like, I think it's an interesting piece, but it also kind of says to me, I'm like, I'm glad to see that, she's a human being, you know what I mean? Like, she's having feelings, and she's, working through them, and doing stuff. But the fact that she didn't win the latest episode, I was like, okay, this is very interesting. Like, there was one path I saw playing it out that it was very obvious she was going to win. Like, the fact that they didn't read her for her runway surprised me. I'm not saying it was a bad outfit, but everybody else was portraying an animal, and she was like, I'm not going to do the obvious. I'm going to be this thing, but in, like, a different interpretation of it.
I didn't even get the animal she was going for in her look. Like, I just want to be that. I'm like McCall, where? Can you point where this says McCall? other than like color
No,
choices,
that's
maybe.
fair.
But
I mean,
like
I saw it as the artistic interpretation that it was. But to your point, like maybe that is part of the reason that she didn't win because they were like, it's a bit of a stretch, like just a little
mm-hmm,
too much. Had it looked more in the color scheme like the feather lay, they might have
mm-hmm,
been more giving to it. I don't know.
yeah,
But on the flip side of it, I was very proud to see that they gave the win to a person who actually achieved something that like rose above and beyond in terms of their skill for the challenge. So it does definitely
yeah,
seem fair. So yeah,
yeah,
I mean it's like
yeah. I I it's weird. There was a lot of emotion for this situation, but I could kind of understand where you don't want to put yourself out there so soon,
mm-hmm,
and the judges are loving you, and you can't really avoid like you can't make the judges not love you, right? That's kind of the whole point of the show. Like you can't like be like, I'm going to be terrible this week just so that the queens don't call me a bitch. Like that feels weird. But I also kind of I rolled my eyes a little bit because I'm kind of like, wow, this is a lot of emotion for safe. And but I feel the pressure in your head of like you said, living up to an expectation, and you're already living up to it in a way by doing so well. And then I can only go up from here. So you're either going to have this moment of like you're going to get humbled, which can happen. Hey, production, we know how you are.
mm-hmm.
Um, or you're just going to keep going. Like safe is a good place to be. I will say this to me, safe is a good place to be in the earlier parts of the season for me. Um,
Yeah, I
to
don't
get through,
disagree. I think
yeah,
safe is a beautiful place to be for the first half.
right.
Make
Maybe
it
a win,
yeah.
but but not like super duper obvious. Like you're like kind of this, like where you're high, super like up there. Every episode, every like these past few, I think she's been high, if not and then one last week, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So having said that, though, I wonder if there's going to be are we going to get that storyline of, like I said, a fall from grace, like a
Right.
slip, a miss. Um, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, as we were talking just now, I realized I'm like, she is no Bob the drag queen, and the reason why I bring that up is that Bob infamously is self like I don't know what the right word is. Like they believe in themselves so much that like in their season, people thought Bob was obnoxious because Bob was just like unrelenting in their belief that they
Yeah.
were the best queen and that they were gonna win. And it was this whole like, is it ego? Like what's the
Hmm.
story here? And ever since then, Bob has continued to be that. Like that was Bob's authenticity, was just like, I am the shit. You just don't know it,
Hmm.
or you refuse to see it, or whatever, and that's not my problem. Like, and that is
Right.
definitely not Jade, because Jade is like in this moment of like, I know I'm good and I'm doing good. I don't like the fact that the spotlight's on me because I feel like that separates
Just
me
put
from the other girls and can create
and
an
it's
issue.
putting a target on her. Yeah,
Right, right.
for sure.
That being
Huh.
said, eye rolls. What you giving eye rolls for?
I put missing the prompt,
Mm-hmm.
and this goes back to the Q-pop girl group and the disco group.
Oh,
Um, sometimes it pays it. You have to listen when Rue's telling you everything about the like maxi challenge. Listen to everything that they're saying. Listen to everything that they reference, and make sure that that is part of what you put out there.
mm-hmm.
Rue specifically mentioned like the disco thing was an homage to Sylvester. Got it. So something a little bit more funk than disco, but still kind of disco. Hearing the track it kind of works, but not really. Maybe that's where
Mm-hmm.
the fault lies. But I also feel and fear that um, Athena was done, and that's where it
Mm-hmm.
fell. Like you were part of the leftovers, as it were. You weren't one of the queens that was picked, so you were your edit wise. What we saw was you checked out
Mm-hmm.
and you were doing things to do them. You gave very basic stuff for the sake of getting it done.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it never hit the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And it showed. Um, and I again, I understand. Like you weren't happy that you weren't picked, but neither were these other three girls that you're now in a group with. So let's do something about it. This also this eye roll also goes to Briar. Um, you were supposed to be her inner saboteur in the monologue. You're supposed to be Athena's inner saboteur. Um, where? Where was that?
Mm-hmm.
What was there? And then the news thing again, please don't just read, y'all. Like put something into it. This is supposed to be acting. Like do something else. God. Um,
Well, I
so
mean,
yeah.
that was the note that they gave Briar, was that she was pretty flat. Like she was pretty one
Hmm.
note the whole time in each thing that she did. So, I mean, that may not be her thing.
Yeah.
Like that she just may
Yeah,
not have a good like acting kind of
maybe.
aspect to her. And I think the
Make her
conflict for
act like a
viewers
fool.
can be is that she can do it when it's very natural for her. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? To like have
Yeah.
highs and lows, but that's not what you portray. It's like you locked in and it's like, girl, this isn't cruise control.
Yep.
You've got to go with the traffic. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Yeah. So there's mine.
okay,
Like let's listen and actually engage.
right.
Carrie, speaking of leftovers.
Well, yeah. So I kind of have two in terms of eye rolls. The leftovers drama.
Mm.
It went on. It went on, and I wasn't interested. Um, I will say this, Vita, you best be careful. That little move later where you were like, actually, I wanted to do the punk thing. I just didn't want her to have it. Like blah blah
Mm-hmm.
blah. And I was like, I
Gasp.
was like, not you. Don't be doing the villain thing now, girl. Like that's leave that to the professionals. You don't strike me as one who's like that's your gig from the beginning. That was surprising to me. And who was it that overheard her? Um I can't remember because they said someone, oh, was it Mikey that said that she
Might have
overheard Vita
been.
say that? And I was like, don't. And I was like, that's even a bigger problem. Like to admit that to your group is one thing, but then to have someone else overhear it, I'm like, they put that in. I think it's
Yep.
gonna bite her in the ass later. I think someone's
Mm.
gonna bring it up, and it's gonna be like so. Here's a weird ass prediction: Briar's not gonna make it as far as Athena does, and it's gonna be Athena versus Vita, and that's when it's gonna come out. And
Mm.
someone's going to say, well, she intentionally withheld that from you on purpose because she wanted to get under your skin or annoy you or whatever. Like that's what I see is going to happen. So that the whole leftovers drama, I was like, oh, this is unfortunate. It's very original season. Obviously, it's not all stars because usually when you get to all stars, nobody gives a shit about where they get placed because they're all like been through this before. I'm confident in what I can do. Let's just turn it out. And that
Right.
really did not happen in this case. It was strange.
Mm.
It was definitely strange. That being said, were these some rough groupings? So when Rue announces how the 3 Q-pop girl groups, like what their tracks are, I immediately honed in and was like, oh, this queen, this queen, this queen, and this queen would be great for this group. And these queens would be good for this group. But production, of course, was like, oh, you two were the tops from last week. You get to play gym class and you get to pick your favorites. And I was like, but you don't know what song you're getting yet.
Right.
So I was so disappointed that they picked based on presumed skill versus personality fit.
Mm-hmm.
So when you ended up with this whole back and forth about who's going to be the disco group, and then when we heard the disco song, I was like, ew. I'm like, this is not a good song. And then we heard the pop song. Ew, that's not a good song. That's not a good pop song. I was like, it is obviously that Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, Lucian Piani isn't on the show anymore because these are not that great. And then, allegedly. And then, so you get, the punk group and they do Cherry or Cherries. And they did the best.
Yeah.
Out of the 3. But
yeah.
They had a cohesive look, thank God. Like all of them were wearing black and silver and chains and blah blah blah. Like so at least that was looking somewhat cohesive. It became kind of apparent who was really into goth and who punk and who wasn't. Choreography was not it though. So all of them suffered in these groups of being cohesive to the theme in the delivery. And it was just rough.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. I get it. There's not enough lube in the world. It is way too uncomfortable and too much friction, girl. Not even a 55-gallon drum would have helped this stuff. Like it was not good. And it was so disappointing to me. And I thought, like, they kept cutting to the judges and their non-reactions, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, I don't think it was going to be so bad that Rue was going to go off on them.
Right.
However, I was like, we're getting awful damn close. Like, and there seems to be no guidance. Like, there's no guest choreographer or something to guide them to give them the cohesion. Like, not even Michelle sitting in a director's chair saying, you guys got to work together. You need to lock in on a thing that makes the most sense for you. Like where's the consistency? So and on top of it, that was annoying to me because and I realize it's just an aesthetics thing, but the disco group gets up there and I got gold, silver. I was like, what? I was like, girl, you ain't got no gold? No gold, nothing? I felt bad for her because I was like, you standing out. I don't know if that's the right thing that you want to do.
Couldn't they whip something? Like, God bless it. There's got to be fabric and could someone have just
spray paint it?
Or spray painted it or something.
Take it outside, put it on the tarp, the infamous blue tarp, put it on the ground, spray paint some gold over top of it so you get something of the illusion. I mean, I would have felt better if they all were different colors. Like if there was a gold and a copper and a brass and a silver,
right,
then I wouldn't have cared as much because I would have been like, oh, cool. They're all very metal. But in this case, it was obvious that there was 3 of them that were gold and 1 wasn't. And I was like, okay. Anyways, now I'm just going on a rant. But my point is in this case, I thought the groupings were rough. I didn't like how they came together. The bullshit drama about picking, what song you wanted for whatever reason. And they were so dead wrong. So when they were who was it? I don't know if it was Jane was everybody wants disco because they know that's Rue's favorite. And I was like, no, you guys missed something. Did you miss in Rue's history that Rue was a punk rocker, alternative performer on the stage with Wee Wee Pole? I was like, wow, you really kind of missed the mark on that. Yes, Rue loves disco, but Rue loves a lot of stuff. Rue loves a lot of music, but I was like, if anything's going to resonate with her and you're going to get it right, you've got to be alternative. You've got to push the envelope in some ways. You know what I mean? So,
right.
anyways, I'm just rambling
You're
on.
ranting. It's okay.
I know.
It happens. It's a sign that we're in love with the show.
It's a sign that it's a sign that we're invested and we think that they're not doing as good as they could. Anyways, that being that
I couldn't grab my fan fast enough.
that being said, anything else you have comments on before we wrap up?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. So if you want to get in touch with us, plenty of ways to do that. You can go to our blog at cubsoutloud.com. You can also shoot us an email, cubsoutloud@gmail.com. You can also leave us a voicemail message. You can call 361-COL Talk. That's 361-265-8255. You can leave us a message. We can play it on the show, or we can just talk about it and not play it. Also, if you want to find us online, check out social media, various platforms, and type in Cubs Out Loud. Pretty much just one word always. If you want to chat with us, we have a social chat over in the Telegram platform. You can go to tinyurl.com/Telegram. That's TELEGRAM-COLDR. If you want to know what's going on for our calendar production when we're going to do live stream shows of the main series, you can go to tinyurl.com/calendar. That's CALENDAR-COL. If you would like to support us, there's several ways to do that. First off, who doesn't love merchandising? You can buy some schlock. Actually, it's good stuff. You can get yourself a mug. You can get yourself a hoodie, a t-shirt, a hat, all sorts of stuff. We've got things with the Cubs Out Loud drag race version of the logo. David is showing off our t-shirt from the whatever the series, and it says whatever the queens say these days. I'm actually wearing our drag queens pride themed consent is my foreplay t-shirt. So we got lots of good stuff over there that you can check out, and they always have a sale. So like, just if you go to Zazzle, even if you sign up, like, you'll get bombarded with like nearly weekly, if not daily, emails about the discounts of the things they got going on there. If you are interested and want to support us more than just like buying merch, you can actually become a Patreon. You can be a patron over at patreon.com, and you can start for as little as $1 a month each month to be at the buddy level. You can also become Uber. You can also become a Cubster at the top level. So there are different options to consider out. You can go to patreon.com/cubsoutloud. And lastly, if you're interested in just giving us some coin, like you don't want to make that much of a commitment, we're just getting to know each other, we understand. You can go to paypal.com/cubsoutloud, or no, so paypal.me/cubsoutloud, and you can make a donation there one time. A lot, it doesn't matter. It helps keep the lights on, and we would greatly appreciate it. Pretty much, Cubs Out Loud Drag Race is its own podcast feed. So if you want to listen to it anywhere where you have your podcast player, you can find Cubs Out Loud Drag Race specifically, and you can listen to back episodes. If you are interested in watching us, we are a playlist specifically on the Cubs Out Loud YouTube page, so you can keep up with just these things as they're happening. Obviously, you need to comment, subscribe, like, all that jazz. Damon, if folks want to get in touch with you, how should they do so?
If you're wishing to touch with me, you can find me as Theater Cub 79. That's TheaterCub79 on most fair-related sites. You can find me as Pup Umbra 79 on Blue Sky. That Blue Sky is not safe for work. For safe for work stuff, you want to go to DMA Gamer 79 on Blue Sky or TikTok. Gary?
If you want to get in touch with me, you can pretty much find me anywhere online as GareBear73. I left the hellscape of the place we don't talk about anymore because it's run by Nazis, and I'm over on Blue Sky. And I'm actually feeling very blessed that Blue Sky is so good about their algorithm that Drag Race doesn't really get spoiled for me over there, which is good because like I'm not watching it live every single Friday night. So yeah, but pretty much you can find me over there if you want to. With that being said, we are going to head out, and we will be back in a couple weeks after we get through the next couple of episodes. I don't recall what next week's episode challenges.
It's the design challenge of some kind.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can't remember what it is specifically, but I know it's a design challenge.
Okay. Well, then we'll see who can sew and who can't, right?
Well, we kind of did already.
Oh, with that being said, we'll talk to you later, kittens.